Welcome, everybody. We're on season 2, episode 3. We finally made it happen. He showed up bright and early. What's going on, my man? We got Ken HAMLIN in the house finally.
I am good. I'm glad to be here. Always good to be back in Dallas and back in ICC. So I'm always enjoying it here.
Yeah, man, it's good to have you, man. I know we've been trying to work on this for a little while,
Yeah.
and I've been looking forward to this show because you and I, every time we hang out, there's always a good story, something good happens, and it's just a good time for sure.
It's always some stories to tell. And I mean, you know what? When you talk about, enjoying a cigar and just kicking back, a lot of things can actually happen in that time. So I'm always enjoying it.
Yeah. Well, happy belated birthday.
Appreciate it.
We're both birthdays in January,
Yeah,
so you got
man.
yours this week earlier, I saw. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
did you guys do it big for the birthday?
No. It was
Nope.
It was more chill, especially compared to some earlier birthdays. This was more of just a relax, just enjoying and being around family and friends and sort of kicking back a little bit.
Yeah, once you get past that 40th one, that's kind of the hanger, and then you're just kind of like, man, I don't care. I just want to chill.
I had some major bangs, so now it's on just enjoying it and enjoying the year, not just that birthday, but just enjoying the entire year a certain way.
Yeah, for sure. So you're here with we're going to get into your cigar brand and everything else. I'm going to go ahead. Is the event tomorrow sold out yet? I've been putting it out there, and I haven't heard back from Rodney. I was going to send him a text message. We sold out?
He should be here, whatever, but in a minute. But no, I don't think it's sold out just yet.
All right,
it's probably close, but we'll work it out, whatever.
All right,
we'll work something out.
Rodney and Ken do stuff together, as you guys see me talking about with the Bourbon Connection, and he's got a new cigar dropping tomorrow for the birthday bash, right?
Yeah, we got so what we're doing is with the original arrival, with purchases from that, you'll get a sample of the new stick that's coming out, and it's something I've been working on for a little bit, so a little change up, and definitely a great addition to what's already there.
Yeah, awesome. So if you guys are around, they're hosting it over at Castle Hills. You can go to thebourbonconnection.com. I think it's .co, actually. The links are on the page. Mm-hmm. You guys check them out, get tickets. It's going to be a great event with Ken and a bunch of other people that are going to be there, and we're going to do it big, and I know he's got some...
you ain't getting out of here until we pat your pockets, because if you have one of them on you, with you...
Yeah,
you
no,
we got a cigar detector at the door, man, just in case you may have one with you.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Just saying.
It's a possibility. I got to see what I got on. We got to see what happens.
Yeah.
Closed mouth, don't give it... You already know the analogy.
You already know the rest.
Well, tell us a little bit about the arrival and where you took it from the beginning and where you're kind of seeing it going now, where you're trying to take it now with the new stuff.
Well, I think, it was an overall sort of movement of just jumping into this industry, learning, and definitely being in DR, being in different regions of the world, and learning from so many different people. Taking that knowledge and continued knowledge that I'm gaining and putting into that cigar that's out now, and that's the original arrival, and that especially with the name, with the cigar, everything, it's something that I wanted to not cut off from people to be able to enjoy. So something not too strong to where someone who's just getting started can enjoy it. Something that's too, or on the other side, something that's too light, to where somebody who's a more full-bodied, what I would call a tailpipe smoker, wouldn't be able to enjoy as well. So it keeps the attention of someone on that level. At the same time, it's mellow enough to where someone who's just a beginner, whether it be a woman or it's a guy who's just getting started or is on a light version of what they smoke, they can enjoy it also.
Yeah, so you guys haven't noticed, we don't have a table full of alcohol in front of us like we normally do. We've actually got some coffee tonight.
Yes, indeed.
And that's actually a conversation you and I had very early on when we first met, and I got to try your cigar the first time, is for whatever reason, and maybe you can talk to them about this a little more, and I've told a lot of people this, your cigar is the one I go to on the weekend when it's the morning and I've got a cup of coffee. For whatever reason, it goes so well with coffee versus I have cigars I like to pair with my bourbon, or my tequila, stuff like that, or just my, go-to regular smokers. We're not drinking. We're just hanging out, smoking a cigar. But this goes so well with coffee and pulls out the notes and really, I think, enhances almost.
I think that combination, you think about the filler, that it has the Nicaraguan, the Dominican, and the Brazilian in it. And that sort of, I call it like the homeliest part of the Dominican flavor and aroma that you get with that Brazilian mix and a little bit of spice from that Nicaraguan. I think it gives the combination to where that morning smoke of having those type of aromas and those type of notes, it goes well. I mean, I definitely wake up and like we talked about, it's one of those good starter cigars. But at the same time, I could be midday with coffee and this cigar and still enjoy it. I mean, and that's the one thing, like I said about just a minute ago, is that for people that want to enjoy it on different levels, but at the same time, during the day, you can enjoy it at different times. And I think just the combination of tobacco that is in it, it definitely gives you that great pairing with the coffee.
So what direction did you take the new one? What did we switch up on the new one that's about to be out?
So the new one, it's really so you have the Connecticut wrapper on this one, and the biggest thing for me is that so many people look at a Connecticut wrapper and they automatically think, oh, this is too light. Oh, this is too. This is only for morning or beginning or this type of stuff. And I wanted to just get something that it's not about the strength of it, and it's definitely nothing that's going to be overpowering. But it's something that it's a change up from when you first smoke it and you're thinking all light, all very bland, nothing really going on, to give you a lot of flavor, a lot of notes. And this one, I mean, with working with, and I'll be putting that all out later on with who we worked with on this cigar. He's known for the definitely that medium type of smoke would give you a lot of flavors.
Okay.
And it's definitely something that I like to be in that realm, in that medium to full, but the change up in the smoke, the different type of notes that you can get, and just that sort of, you get the boldness of it, but it's not overpowering and it's not too much.
Yeah, I think that bodes well for a lot of cigars. And I can understand what you're saying with people thinking just because it's a lighter colored wrapper and everything, even people that aren't as educated may just like cigars, like myself. Like, I don't speak fluent frakes on cigars and stuff like that. Like, I'm like, yeah, I like this. This is why I like this. I can't just break it down. I get confused on the gauges, shapes, and everything.
There's a lot more of that, though. There's a lot more people who are like, I like it. And not, well, you know what, I'm getting this and this. And you got to be able to sort of feed into all of those different things. Are the people who aren't just going to give you the technical terms of all these different things, but they like it, they enjoy a cigar. And I would rather have more people who are saying, that's a good cigar, and can't
tell you anything else about it.
It's this note, but they got the enjoyment of it, and they're going to go back to that cigar than to worry about so many people who are like, well, what are you getting from it? And want to give you all the technical terms of it. It's great.
Yeah.
If your palate is on that level, cool.
Yeah.
But there are so many guys, so many women, so many people in general that are on the level of, I like it, I'm gonna get some more.
Yeah.
and that's bigger. And it's because I've had so many. When I first came out with the first, and it's an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper on the first arrival, there were so many people. Oh, when he coming out with a Maduro? And in their mind, Maduro strong. That's what they're thinking. But Maduro, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't automatically mean that it's a strong cigar. It means that the color of it is going to be dark.
Yeah.
But that's just about it. But people have it in their mind that Maduro, it's going to be strong. That's what I want.
I think with the older crowds, especially, there was a lot more limited choices back in the day, whereas now we're in this cigar renaissance.
Yes.
Where the younger generation, our generation, is really picking up into it. The younger generation is coming on board, and there's a lot more choices out there now, where you're seeing people experiment a little more, whereas traditionally, you go back to those old cigars and find really old ones.
Yeah.
And
Dark
it's
was
very
heavy.
cut and dry.
Yeah. Dark was strong. Middle, the Ecuadorian, like Sumatras were a medium smoke and Connecticut's were light.
Yeah.
That's all it was. You think about, because I think of, with Cubans and with different cigars where people have this, that Cubans are here and everything else is below, but you got so many different regions of the world that are, like you said, that are playing with so much different tobacco that can give you so many different type of aspects of it that you just can't judge it off of the wrapper. You never could, but now especially.
Yeah.
You can't judge a book off that cover, off the wrapper, and just say, well, this is what it is. Oh, it's going to be light, or it's going to be heavy. It's so many things that can happen with that cigar depending on what is inside of it and how it plays together. How all those tobaccos marry together and how they actually play with each other. You can get so many things from it.
How many test runs did you have to go through on this last one? Because I know when we talked the first time, you were telling me, I couldn't believe it. It reminded me of when I did one of those cigar tastings where we literally, after one of the big trade shows, sat in here and we all passed around cigars and we smoked like 60 cigars in the evening.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what's that process like for you? And tell us a little bit about how you go through the process when you're doing that.
I think this next one was a little bit different because the first one, I sort of determined that I was working with Manny and Noah and with the La Aura, and that was it. And so then we started working on tobaccos and working on different things. With this one, I didn't really know where I was going to. I still was working with Manny and doing stuff in the factory La Aura. I was going to other factories and working with other people who were, just magical in their own right. And so that sort of made it even more interesting because I'm over here at one factory and we're blending and doing different things. Now I'm going over to this factory and now we're working on certain things. Some in the same realm, and then some working on whether it be a stronger cigar. Yeah. And so not knowing what direction I really wanted to go, you end up you smoke a lot more than you probably should because you're just working with so many different things and with so many different people. And then it sort of narrowed down to where I was like, you know what, because of just knowing I want to go this direction and I wanted to be on this level and I wanted to have this type of complexity to it. This is who I'm working with, and now let's see what we can do. Now let's work on a few things and put it together. So you got to sort of narrow it down and start being in this one box and started working on it. So I mean, it started out a little bit crazy because of how many areas we were going in, but once we narrowed it down and sort of got into an understanding of what we wanted to do and how we wanted to really put it together, it made it a little bit more well, it was a little bit more, I guess. Just the simplicity of it was a little bit better because I knew what direction I wanted to go.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I think to see this evolve, I'm excited to see where this goes because we talk about this a lot on the show because we go into bourbons and tequilas and cigars. Yeah. That's kind of the commonality on the show is we sit down and share that and then just have candid conversation. Yeah. But you see where a lot of people, especially whether it's a bourbon or a spirit or a cigar, get really hung up on the name. A lot of people at first are like, oh, wait, is this Ken Hamlin, the football player, Dallas Cowboy that's, putting his name on a cigar? Yeah. Or is this Ken Hamlin that, hey, this is my new gig. Exactly. Like, this is something I'm passionate about, and I'm trying to create something different in this lane.
I always tell people, if there's a little sprinkle of whether you want to call it celebrity or whatever it is that's still left, I'm gonna use that because I worked hard to get for
sure.
That. But this is me putting on a totally different hat. This is me actually diving into this industry.
Something you're passionate about.
Exactly. And being respectful of everybody that's already been in it and been doing it, but trying to carve out my own lane and do it. And doing it actually what I would feel like is the right way is actually doing it with the whole aspect of I want to go through the entire process. Yeah. I want to be a part of all of it. I don't want to sit there and delegate, just make my cigar.
You didn't just go buy a secondhand rolled cigar and put your label on it.
Negative. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that definitely wasn't. I mean, it would have been a lot easier.
Right, for sure.
It would have taken a lot less trips, whatever, to DR and different spots, whatever. But I wanted to actually be a part of it and actually sit down and learn and actually get that knowledge that all of these different people have given me. I mean, I think about with Guillermo and with La Aurora and Manny, the master blender of La Aurora. I've Ostis, whatever, who La Isla is another factory that I've worked with. Eladio Diaz, whatever, who's big with Davidoff, and now he's in his own thing, whatever. Just sitting with him and sort of taking in that feedback. And the crazy part about it is a lot of times it's Spanish that I'm getting, it's English. So, I mean, just deciphering all of these different things and really like learning what this is all about. And these guys are, some of them, third, fourth, fifth generation. So they are well deep into it. And, me starting out and really just starting this tradition in my family, it's definitely important to me to have that sort of footing. And sort of dig in and get deeper from there.
That's awesome. I love to hear that. I think it's cool, regardless, that you took something that you got passionate about and then you dove off into it. Because as we talked before, you just got passionate about cigars. It's not like somebody in your family was a big cigar person or anything like that. It's something you personally enjoyed.
Yeah.
And when retirement came around, you started digging deeper into it and taking trips and getting educated. And you spent a lot of time, from my understanding of us talking, that this wasn't an overnight process. I mean, you've been working on the Arrival for what, 4 or 5 years now?
Yeah, it's been a full process. This is something, and I didn't want it to be an overnight. I think that the story behind it, the story that you can get with, taking the time to really, sink in and really learn, and then go through all the different steps, with finding out the tobacco that's in it and really breaking down the different tobaccos that's in it. Even creating the band, the box, all these different meetings and different things. You got to sit down and the meeting that we did, the boxes and bands where we created the whole logos and everything. That was about a 5-hour, 6-hour meeting.
Oh, I'm sure your boxes. I don't keep many boxes. Yeah. And aside from the fact that you wrote Woo Pig on it, I mean, I did keep that box. Because a lot of times it's like, that's just going to take clutter. Like, why do you want just a box here? And I don't have like a big humidor at home. I'm working with the acrylics and stuff like that right now. So, keeping around extra boxes. But I mean, those, if you guys haven't seen them, I wish I had one that I wish I'd gotten up and got it off my shelf to bring it up here and let you guys see it, because it's a beautiful box.
Appreciate it.
Complements it very well.
And that's, well, first, because I wanted to, especially with the first box, the first cigar, I wanted to, and that's where the Arrival comes in. When you talk about, and that whole term to me means leaving an impact and an impression. And you can't do that if you slack on certain areas. Where I feel like the box, I always treat this like it's a woman.
Yeah.
So the box is the car that woman is in. You want that woman to be driving a nice car. The band, I feel like that's the dress that woman is going to have on. I don't want to slack on that. I want it to have something, and for it to mean something where now that's a conversation piece.
Yeah.
You talk about what's going on with the band. Now you can talk to people about why you did this, what is it about, what is going on, even with the box, the color of the box, and talking about that being the symbol. So I sort of brought in that football part of my life with the box being blue lid on it.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
The tobacco stems that are surrounding the cigars, that's bringing in the Seahawks of a bird, like a bird's nest almost.
Yeah.
So it brings in so many different things, and I wanted to have that sort of that impact, or that, oh wow, what's that? Because when you think about it, you go into these humidors, you go into this humidor here with all of these big name and just impressive companies that have all these different cigars. You're a starter. You're starting up. You want to have something that catches somebody's eye. I mean, because that's just like with a woman. That got to catch
people
your
are
eye
going to
first.
Try things without even knowing what it is.
And they see it, boom. I've had plenty of people who have hit me up and on Instagram and social media in general that have hit me up and said, you know what, man, I go into this cigar lounge to get my normals, and then I go and I try to find something that catches my eye, and I try it. And your cigar was the one that caught my eye.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do that, especially with the first one, is to have something that was and of course it's its own humidor as well. So to start out, have that sort of look, and then now I got another one that I'm working on too that will be a little bit more conventional, but at the same time still give that look that I want.
So, did you have any failures with this? Well, because we like to not just talk about the successes here, too.
Definitely.
We want to talk about the failures, too. Do you feel like your intention was well received, or are you making some modifications with that on the... Because that could also be a hindrance, I think, too, is what if people thought, oh, this is just something flashy. He's trying to make this flashy just for that purpose, that this isn't as legit. Did you get any of that kind of feedback?
I think the biggest feedback, especially on the boxes, because it is big.
Yeah, they're big.
And it takes up space.
Yeah.
So when you're dealing with lounge owners, they're looking at what does this do for my space in my humidor.
Right.
There are some humidors that aren't as big, and it takes up a lot of space. Well, for me, I mean, I want to take up space. Yeah, but at the same time, I looked at it like, okay, because, and this was the sort of give and take. I wanted to basically take up space, having only one blend, 3 sizes. Now, if I had 6 blends, with however many sizes or whatever, 3 of each, whatever, so now you got 18 facings in if you have all of those same boxes, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Because
no one would give you that much real estate.
No, nobody's going to give you that much. So having the one blend with 3 sizes, it worked out better, and I didn't get as many no's that I probably would have gotten if I had more facings. So that sort of worked in my favor because I didn't have that many blends. Now, and that's why we're going back to the new boxes that will be coming out that are more conventional, that because we're coming out with more blends, we can work with these smaller ones and still have the look that you want, but not take up as much space.
Gotcha. That's cool. I can see that because that real estate's, limited, like you said, in a lot of humidors, and that is a big box. Like, it's like the one that drives me nuts. I have this one of those Salomones, and I mean, it's and then the prettiest cigars. You almost don't even want to smoke them because they're like works of art. Like, they got different characters and logos.
I had to ask Lito.
That box is this big though.
I asked Lito. I said, because I went down and said, "How do you smoke these, man?" I'm like, "It's art. Like, how do you smoke them?" He said, "You light up one end and you puff on the other one." I said, "Well, there you go." Because I mean,
it's one of the longest smokes I've had too. It's like a 2.5 hour smoke.
Yes, it is. But you think about it, I mean, that one's a little bit more designed, and everything, and it definitely has a lot going on with it. But all of these are a piece of art.
Yeah.
You think about the amount of people that it takes to just make one cigar. All of them are a piece of art. So we are smoking art, somebody's masterpiece every time that we light it up.
Yeah. That's for sure. It's how you look at it, and I mean, it's a time commitment every time. That's why I love cigars. Is you're basically committing to whether it's an hour and a half, 2.5 hours, depending on what you pick. It's almost like your own meditation. It's your own time to unwind. Whether you want to go be social with it or you want to sit back and reflect, work on your day, anything like that. It gives you that opportunity.
It gives you opportunity to sort of get yourself back in place and then get out into the world. Or if you, like you said, if you want to be social, if you want to use this as a social piece to get out and sort of interact with other people, you can do that. I think that it's great in all levels because you can have that one-on-one with your cigar. At the same time, you can sit there and bring more people into the fold, either have a discussion about it or just be talking about stuff in general. But I love, especially when you starting out with a new cigar that you never tried, to have that one-on-one with it and sort of have your own little relationship going on with your cigar in that moment and just take that in.
What's one of the biggest things that you didn't expect to learn that you learned starting out on that journey?
One of the biggest things. You know what? Because it was, and I understand it's a business, but I didn't really know what to expect. I launched this during COVID.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, like, okay, was it going to be, they were going to take on to it, or was it going to just be sitting? I'm going to have
Inventory
10,000 personal cigars, or so I didn't know what to expect or how things were going to go out. But I also know my work ethic, and I know that I'm going to work to make this at least for it to be visible.
Yeah.
Who knows who's going to buy it, and if they're just going to buy. My biggest thing is to have a cigar that, of course, you do events and you'll have people come and they'll buy it or they'll try it, they'll support. But my biggest thing is having a cigar that when you leave, people are still smoking it, and people are still coming to get it. And to see that, and I'm sitting in lounges sometimes, and you have people who are coming in, just individuals that aren't members there, and they're just coming in and they're grabbing a cigar, and I end up, talking with them. They're like, "Oh, this is your cigar," and they give you so many different "Oh man, I can't believe," and that's like a personal like pat on the back when you like, wow, like they really do like it. I mean, so that sort of that's sort of like you did well. But my biggest thing with me is that I always take those sort of those goals, and I don't spend much time sitting on that because I set another one. Now it's time. Okay, next cigar, next city, next lounge. Everything is about what's next. So the biggest thing now is sort of just building this brand. Bigger than just one cigar, bigger than just one lounge, bigger than just one moment, and making the arrivals. I would love for the arrival to be more. It's a movement in itself. So it's not just about the cigar. It's about everything in this, just moving forward in a way of you have arrived in multiple ways. Not just you arrived whatever with the cigar and that's it, whatever. But no, you arrived business wise. You arrived, with so many different things. So we are moving in a lot of different directions, but the cigar is the focus.
Right on. Well, what's the biggest pitfall you hit that you didn't expect early on when you were starting your new business without using COVID? Because we know what happened during COVID is when you started.
I think.
Because what I like to do is one of the things is we really like to talk about is, I want to see other young entrepreneurs and other individuals that are trying new things. They're putting themselves out there. Sometimes they see it's just.
They see all the good.
They see all the good. They don't see all the struggle getting there.
That's Instagram. That's social media for you in itself.
Yeah.
Instagram is going to show you all the great. I mean, everybody's beautiful. Everybody's successful. Everybody's.
Yeah.
I would say one thing with me is that understanding, because I had times where I had orders, but inventory is not there, and understanding that overlap, understanding, damn, I mean, I got this person want to order, this person want to order, this person. I have zero. So the business side,
but I paid for.
I have zero to give them, but I got this going on, and just understanding, and this is really sitting down with the distribution, sitting down with the factory, and really understand, okay, you know what? When you order this, whatever, you need to be having another one ready to go, and then this one's ready to go, because understanding what the factory's doing and how they're not making anything until this order is made for this, and it's only going to be, it's 8 weeks out for this, and having to understand that whole business side of it, of, okay, now you can have a love for this, but now you got to turn business, you got to get the business hat on and really understand when you need to order, how this needs to overlap with this. It needs to make sure that it's on here, because if you order here, it's going to be 2 months before you get this one. And then to think whatever, now if you order this one, cigars aren't made yet. So now you got to make sure that these cigars are made. They sit for this amount of time. The boxes take, 8 weeks. This take all of these different things, whatever, to basically make sure that everything is together. So I think just my business hat, understanding the cigar industry and really how everything sort of has to flow, and it all has to flow at the same time. You got to make sure that you have everybody on the same page in order to make sure that you have the inventory and everything ready to roll, and that the cigars are ready to roll too. So I think the biggest thing was I've had a couple of times where I had delays. And of course, a delay can hurt you in a lot of different ways, because, they could be hot on you right now and they're like, oh, you don't have it? All right, never mind. And they can keep it moving. So that could work in
or having to do an event and not even having your own cigar to smoke.
Have zero to smoke. I mean, my first event, and this was, like I said, during COVID. I was supposed to launch like January or February of 2020. I didn't launch until November. Now, when they told me that cigars are in, they'll be here. Once they told me that the cigars are coming in, I basically had set up a event for that Saturday in Houston. Now, they told me that the cigars were going to get there on Tuesday, Miami Cigars in Miami. They were going to ship them off on Tuesday. They would get to me by Wednesday, no later than Thursday. I thought about that, and I'm like, I just don't trust it. I'm like, it doesn't sound right. So I woke up, and this was like Monday night. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get my cigars. I'm flying to Miami. I already called my one friend that was there, and I said, hey, you want to do a road trip? I said, because I'm going to get my cigars, and I'm driving them back to Houston. I got there Tuesday. They told me, yeah, the cigars got here. So I'm like, wow, it actually worked out. But then they said, but they're not clearing it. They're not releasing them. It might be tomorrow. I'm like, oh, see, I knew it. Something was going on. They were stuck in customs. Didn't get released until like Thursday. So I wouldn't have got them if I would have waited for them.
Yeah.
Ended up driving to the factory, loaded them up I rented a Suburban, loaded them up in the Suburban, 16-hour drive back, got back Friday, and had them ready for. But I mean, those different.
What a
things,
blessing that you had that intuition at that time.
And because I just had a feeling that anything could go wrong, especially it was COVID too. So I'm like, it's so many things going on, you just never know. And that worked out, because if not, that would have been a whole nother delay. And so many people. I had been working. The one positive about the delay was I had been sort of using the samples and stuff to sort of pump it up and really get it going, get the lounges ready to go. And they were ready for it. So to have that delay, it could have really messed it up even further. Yeah. So that was one of the things that sort of turned the negative into a positive, and I was able to sort of overcome that.
That's awesome. I mean, just trusting your gut, man, pays so big sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So have you met any good mentors along the way? Did you get some like good advice, good mentors? I mean, because I assume, being your first rodeo with cigars, that there had to be some good people that came into your life and helped you along the way. Is there
I think
some
that's
good stories from there that you care to share?
That's sort of the way that I narrowed it down to working with La Aura. I mean, I was in DR quite a bit. I spoke with once Guillermo Leon, who's the head of La Aura. He found that I was interested in possibly doing a cigar. He talked to me. He was like, if you're interested, and he knew that what the process that I wanted to go through and what I wanted to do. And he was like, listen, if you're serious, you come back here and we can work on it. We can make it happen. With Manny and Noah, I was in the factory, at lunch, at dinner, just about every night we were together. So that sort of developed a relationship between us to where I got to sit with them and just sort of take it in, and Guillermo was a quiet guy, but he's like a Don in Dominican Republic. This cat he's that guy. You won't feel it. He's real humble, real like low key and quiet. But I mean, we've sat and talked at dinner numerous times. That's why every time, so they would pick me up and to take me to the factory and take me back to my house in DR, and every time he dropped me off, he's like, "Well, what are you doing this evening?" And I would always tell him, I have plans to not have plans. So he'd always say, I'll pick you up at 7:30 for dinner. Let's go. Because those are times to where now I can soak in a lot of different things, whatever, that aren't just planned questions. These are just conversations that we're having. And so me, Manny, Guillermo, we're just sitting there developing that relationship. So there's a lot of things that I've gotten from them that has just been generic and just organic conversations, and really just understanding how they sort of do things and how they flow in this industry. But now it's like I got family out there in DR. Like, I got one of my guys, Diego, who sort of makes sure that I'm good out there, but he's in the box industry. So learning from him on different type of boxes and how you can go from wood, paper, different, and using different type of, and of course, costs, and learning about all those different things. it's so many. One of my guys, Che, he's one of the head guys with the cellophane.
Okay.
And learning about that, and so it's these are like organic like relationships that have been built over time. But I mean, these are people that I'm with daily when I go back to DR. So, and when I leave, we're constantly in communication. So the relationships have been built, and they are definitely ongoing. So I have numerous. And when you think about a guy that I'm not too proud to take direction from somebody who's been in it, who knows. I mean, I think about even with my football career, you can't act like you know everything. Once you feel like you've learned enough and know enough, whatever, you're gonna get beat, or somebody's gonna take your job. So you got to always be open to learn and open to sit there and get better. And that's what I'm using in this, is that same thing, is that I want to always get better. I always want to learn more. You can never learn enough about how tobacco works, and just in the industry as well, as just being, sort of growing that industry and starting from a puppy, from a baby, and really developing it out.
So some of these are life lessons from football, I assume, too. So let's touch on that a little bit, because I know you've done 1,000 interviews about football, so we're not going to have like normal conversation about football here. But you went to Arkansas, drafted by the Seahawks,
yes, indeed.
Played with the Seahawks. You go to the Cowboys, and then I believe was it Ravens, then Colts, or Colts and Ravens?
Yeah, I really don't count those years, but yes. So
All
Ravens, right. Ravens, then Colts. Fine. Yeah. We can go ahead and Ravens, then Colts. Those were my last little run-ins.
Well, my question with that was going to be, obviously you've gotten to be a player under lots of great leaders.
Yeah.
And that tends to bring out a lot of good life lessons that don't just apply to football. What are some of the better lessons that you learned from some of these great leaders that you had the privilege of playing under?
Well, I think one of my first lessons was actually from a player. Me getting ready for the draft. I was already in Houston training, and one of the guys that I sort of latched on to was Aaron Glenn, and he was maybe a year or two from retiring, but his whole logic on telling me, and a lot of times you have so many guys that will give you information, but of course it goes in one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
But his biggest thing was to get started in your second career before your first one ends, and I took that. And that stuck with me, because again, you never know. Everybody thinks that they're gonna play 10, 20 years, 10, 15 years. Everybody. I mean, this is from the guy that didn't even get drafted to the guy that was the number one pick. Everybody feels like they're gonna play 10 years plus. Yeah. But you just never know what might happen. So, and I think it's a lot more guys now in the leagues, baseball, basketball, football, that are taking that type of approach on your best time to really start your next career is while you're in this one, because you have so many opportunities, so many people that you can touch, so many people that you can talk to, and that's one thing that I did, is wanted to start whether you fail or not. That's the biggest thing, and I think it's so many people, whether they're the athletes, they're professional athletes or not, there are so many people who have opportunities or have ideas that won't do it because they're scared to fail.
Or
Trust me.
Stop right when they fail the first time.
Yeah. Or that's it. But this is, I mean, listen, there are opportunities. That's when you have the greatest opportunities to really try it, see if it works. And then you know what? Learn from your mistakes.
Because you didn't start out as a safety.
No, I didn't start out as safety. And look, when I first started playing football, I wasn't
safety, but you did not start out as safety.
But my thing is that football wasn't even my best sport.
Yeah, I heard it was baseball.
Baseball was my best sport. Yeah, so like there are so many opportunities that you just don't know. And if you don't try, if you don't sit there and continuously try and actually learn from those mistakes, then you don't know what you're missing out on. So
what made you choose football then if baseball was your best sport?
Well, being growing up in Memphis, I didn't have the people around me to really look at those opportunities of what, going from, whether it be AAA and going through those different opportunities to work my way up. I didn't know the ins and outs of that. And I didn't have anybody to really throw it off of to sort of see either. I knew I got a scholarship in football. I knew that was guaranteed. I know that's going to work, and I can work that. So it sort of made the decision a little bit easier to where go this route. You know you got this set. Now you can work your way up to making it however far you want to make it. But I mean, I look back on it. I mean, I got a son now who's playing baseball, and I look at it now. I'm like, ooh, like you should. It would have been fun to see what would have happened going that direction. But I think everything works out for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Agree totally. And how much did I know? Not everybody's gonna know this. I mean, you and I talked about this a little bit previously. How much did your, we'll call it, near-death experience up in Seattle? How much did that change things for you, and what did that really change in your life as far as outlook and stuff?
It changed my focus, you know, and it narrowed my sort of it closed that door of availability as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, my focus on understanding that it can be taken from you at any point in time. I understand that there are some people who might need a little slap on the wrist, some people that need a real full-out wake-up call, and I feel like that was mine. But to have the opportunity to still come back and play, even though I had a major head injury, I had all type of different things that happened, to be able to play the game and to play the game the way that I played it, it was a true blessing because, I mean, that could have been it.
Yeah, you had your Pro Bowl after all this. You know, I remember when you were coming to Dallas, that wasn't a guaranteed thing. Like, everybody was like, I don't know if we can put him out on a field safely for a while.
Well, people don't understand. So just to give you a quick little, so the incident happened in Seattle. That was the year that we went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I didn't play the rest of that year. I had to go through all type of doctors to get cleared to play the following year. That was my fourth year. I played that fourth year, and so once I finished that year, we went to the playoffs. We got kicked out, hit out of the playoffs, and I started taking trips and going, you know, to see where I was a free agent now. My first trip was to New Orleans. Now in New Orleans, I mean, I was there 2 or 3 days. I mean, I was basically. That was going to be a one and done stop. I mean, I was working. Look, they were showing me where I was going to possibly live. We were talking to different coaches, and my last day there, I was meeting with Mickey Loomis, the GM. While meeting with Mickey Loomis, I had a seizure on his floor.
Oh man.
Yeah, don't know. Most people don't know that.
Yeah.
You know, I woke up in the hospital, and I thought it was over with. Like, I mean, I'm thinking like, yeah, this is going to be everywhere. I can't get past this. It's going to be done. Especially, even though I played the whole year, to have that happen, it just seemed like, man, this is not going to be good. I actually left from that hospital, and Jerry flew me to Dallas from the hospital, picked me up from the airport. They took me straight to the hospital in Dallas, ran all type of tests. I was in Dallas for 5 or 6 days before I signed that 1-year deal with them. And again, it was back to proving yourself again. Now I had that year to prove myself again. I mean, I had record numbers, whatever, for myself, personal records. So, I mean, and then I got to get the long-term deal from there. But I mean, it was constant, like, are you going to like wake up calls and sort of like, you know, get yourself together, take care of yourself, all this type of stuff. So, yeah, it could have been taken away a couple of times. But I just had this mindset of like just a work ethic and the grind, like, no, it's not happening. And so I mean, that could have been that I was in New Orleans and that was it. But for whatever reason, I feel like the man upstairs was like, no, New Orleans ain't the place for you. Yeah. So he was like, nope, let me stop this right now.
Yeah, Bourbon Street might not be a good idea for Ken.
Yeah, Bourbon, then. Yeah, the French Quarters would have been a little bit different. But yeah, so it's I just feel like that was just another time of like an eye-opening moment that like, wow, like, you know, to have that happen and to still overcome and to really push past it, and then to physically, my body to sit there and get right to where I was in a direction to where now I can take care of things. It was definitely a blessing.
So what pushed you finally to decide to go ahead and retire then? Because, I mean, as far as I know, I mean, after that, you weren't very injury stricken for a guy that like absolutely annihilated people tackling them. I mean, I'm hoping maybe you can go talk to our boy Diggs and get rid of this shoulder stuff. I am going to say that I'm still a little bitter about that, but
Oh, wow. Yeah, the eyes closed.
I mean, the game's changed so much.
That was the biggest thing. I think
and it was starting to change right in that time period because that was Roy Williams and all you guys that, So I'm the OU fan, so, you know, horse collar tackle and all that stuff started changing things, and then the head injuries with everybody and that being such a focus.
Yeah, that 2010 season, then we had the lockout. The rules and everything started changing, and I just had a feeling like it was time for something different.
Yeah.
I probably could have tried to gut it out and try to make a team here and make a team here, but mentally I was just like, you know what? This game isn't fit for what I was doing anyway.
Right.
They're changing it all the way around to where now you can't hit anybody. And now we see where it is now to where any big hit.
Pro Bowl is flag football now.
Yeah, it's definitely. and the game is flag football almost. Where it's on the back end, you're not going to get those big hits like that. If you do, the flag is coming immediately. So, and then you got to fight that. So it's like it was a time that, you know what? This is my time has ran through. It's time to go ahead and do something different.
How would you feel about if your son wanted to play football?
I mean, I feel like if he's at an age where he understands, what it is, he understands the good and the bad, then and that's the direction you want to go, then you understand what you're putting yourself into. You understand what Dad put himself into, whatever, what he had going on, then it's your decision. Because I don't want to take away from what that could be his thing. Yeah. But right now, football isn't even a thought. And that's the sort of difference between, I believe, me, having a child later on, and he didn't see me play.
Right.
And then I've had so many guys who I played with that had kids while they played. And that's a major part of their life, seeing their dad play the game. So, of course, you see that. They're going to be more involved in that. They're going to be right along with, I want to do what Dad did. So he's picked something that he likes. Has nothing to do with anything else. It was just what he likes, which I don't mind that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. What I know you said the advice that Aaron gave you early on really affected you of preparing for the next thing while you're already in the thing. What did you start doing to make that easy? Because I feel like we've had several players on the show, former players, some of you really good friends, and we've had different athletes that we've talked to, and it doesn't seem like everybody, I mean, I think all of them, just for anybody that's seen all those shows, I think they've all transitioned excellently.
Yeah.
But you hear a lot of stories where guys really have trouble hanging up the cleats and moving on to the next thing or finding something that they can be as passionate about. How did you help yourself do that? And what were some of the early things you did? Because I feel like you did that very well.
Well, early on, I mean, I got into real estate. I acquired, properties. And this is before I even had that whole mindset of just the business side of things. I mean, I wanted to, and it was almost that, let me see what happens, and I'm gonna try it until I fail. But I did that to have another income coming in, and this was early on. So that was the first thing that I did. Then got into some deals, and me, my agent, and a couple of the guys, we got into some oil deals and stuff like that. That ended up being, great. So it was sort of listening to and being, of course, if you're in a group with people who are on the mindset of more and better and this, that, and not where people are just complacent and cool where they're at.
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing, whatever, is just surrounding yourself around people who are looking to do better, be better. And I've tried to make sure that I've been around people who want more, who want to do more, who want to be better. And so that, I think that was the biggest thing with me, is that whether it be older guys or guys that just were on that mindset of, this isn't it. Regardless of whatever field they were in, doctors, lawyers, different. So of them just knowing that, I want to be in a different lane. I want to do more. I want to be a part of more. And so I got attached with them and attached with other opportunities early on to where I could sort of use those as leverage to do other things.
Right on. Yeah, you can see that, and that's something I've observed with you. You are so approachable. You don't come off with this celeb status and all this other stuff. Like, you will literally talk to anybody and sit and have a legit, genuine conversation if they're willing to do that and sit around with them. And that's one of the things I've always enjoyed about becoming your friend and getting to hang out and know you a little better over the last couple of years. Like,
I just feel like everybody had, like, of course, you know, our job is sort of televised, but everybody has a gig. My gig was just a little different than yours and the next person. But it doesn't make me any better than anybody else. And I feel like, first off, especially in this cigar lounge, you surround yourself with so many different type of people and so many people from different type walks of life that you just never know what this conversation could do. Yeah. You never know what that next you just never know. So if you sitting there and being a prick, whatever, to this guy or this person for no reason, it's like, for what? Like, I'm trying to enjoy the next day, the next minute, the next hour. I mean, I'm all about that more than thinking that I am. Let me make myself seem like I'm more important than the next person. No, it's not about that.
Yeah, the genuineness comes out like loud and clear, man.
I appreciate it.
I mean, you see that a lot. And that's one thing we've talked about a lot on this show, trying to get people to find places like a cigar lounge or something like that. And I mean, I'm not just advocating for cigar lounges. I've said many times, I've considered lots of different things. I just happen to find that a cigar lounge vibed with me, and it put me around the type of people I wanted to be around, you know? And if you work to something like that and you get these people around you, you're constantly meeting new people, hearing new ideas, getting stuff spun around you, and, you know, influences that, you know, could be something.
If
you know,
you're especially you think about it in a business aspect, you hear so many. You can sit in a lounge and you can hear so many different things going on that you just never know that might click with you. I was just at our lounge back in Houston, and one of the young ladies, she has some type of medical center. And she was looking for a certain type of doctor or whatever to be whatever for that center. Well, just so happened that day, one of the guys that is a doctor came in his uniform, and she ended up talking to him about it. And he was like, yes, I'll do it. They connected on that just off of that. Somebody introduced, he was open to it, she was open to it, they talked, and it worked out right there. You just never know the opportunities that are there because you have so many different people that have so many different, and you never have that conversation. You never open up to have that conversation. You just never know. And you just missed that opportunity that could have not just made you better, but could have made this person, that person, a lot of different people, whatever, better that day.
Yeah, I agree. And sometimes it's people just realizing you can have a normal conversation with somebody just because they do something different than you. Definitely. Just because you're a professional athlete don't mean you're not personal. You're not still a person.
Exactly.
You're not just a football player.
We don't just
or XYZ. I'm not just a construction guy.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. We deal with life just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Just like you. You deal with life just like everybody else. So it's sometimes that people, I mean, even with the cigar. The first write-up that I had happen with the cigar was, I forgot the guy's name, whatever, but his first words were, another athlete with a cigar. And I don't mind somebody being narrow-minded to think whatever that I guess we can't think or be in the same mindset as a Guillermo or as a Nestor Miranda, as a Hanky.
Yeah.
Like, why not? But to think whatever that we're just in this box of just athletes and then everybody else's cigar, that's not the truth. Because if I build it like a business, like they did, if I treat it like a business and the love of it like they did, then why is it not the same?
Yeah.
It is the same, whatever. It's just somebody's opinion, and that's all it is.
For sure. All right, since the man kind of stepped in the room, y'all can't see him right now. I'm going to ask him because we brought it up earlier. What's the event looking like? There's still some tickets available for these people if they're interested in coming to the Bourbon Connection tomorrow?
You want the off mic over here? You want to come over here and talk, or you just want to go over there? Or you just going to tell us from?
No, I probably hear you.
That's Rodney. You can hear Rodney.
Over. Yeah, it's Rodney.
Come
He's
on
loud.
You already know that.
Yeah.
There he is.
But yeah, we talked about it earlier before you got here. We let people know you got your guys' event, the Ken Hamlin birthday bash tomorrow over at the country club, and tickets available. They're not available. I mean, I've been telling them they need to go to the site real quick. Like
we got
if they
a lot of
try
people
to
coming. We extended the tickets just to get more people in. I don't know if we like what we capped it back out at because we sold out, and then we were like, nah, we had a couple more.
We selling tickets at the door.
Yeah.
Hey, look.
We was like, we'll go ahead and extend it.
If you bring Rodney a bottle of Special Reserve Mixers or something, he might let you in.
You'll get a lifetime guarantee access.
Yeah, exactly.
To the Bourbon Connection.
Bring some Behikes and we'll work something out.
No, but tomorrow's gonna be a dope night. Y'all got to make sure if y'all don't got tickets, get them now because it's gonna be live tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, like I've talked about this a lot before.
You got to get Ken to tell us what he wearing tomorrow.
Yeah,
you know what? That's honestly, I've been joking about that all week long. I was like, he's gonna come in here with his Fast and the Furious Tyrese pimped out outfit or something.
My thing is, whatever. I just go to the closet, I grab something, I make it work.
You are way too GQ for that.
Hey, listen,
He gonna have that dark blue suede smoking jacket with his Balenciaga socks.
Hey, I'm just saying. My thing is, I put. It is.
Rodney about to show us something.
Oh, that's out the closet.
You ain't
That's out the closet.
Let me see it.
That's
Let me
out
see
the
it.
closet. Listen, but what I say though is that now I got suits for days now.
Damn.
But it's out the closet. And
This is out the closet.
Yeah. And once again, this one, what I'm wearing tomorrow, is out the closet.
Ken dresses to impress. That's all I'm gonna say.
No question about it.
I'm looking at a picture of him right now. He looked like Tyrese, Raphael Sadiq with Billy D. Williams in essence walking behind him. This right here, this is out the closet.
Out the closet, Doc.
This is taking me 4 weeks to put together.
But what I say is that it's gonna be right.
Tyrese hooked him up when he did that stunt double stuff for him for a while.
Man, I'd see some Raphael in there too.
Yeah,
though,
man.
bro.
I just make sure that I try to mix and match and put some things together. But yeah, let me see what I.
That's clean.
Yeah.
He don't even remember that outfit. That's like 37 outfits ago.
That was a couple years ago in Atlanta for my birthday. Yeah.
See, now we're gonna have to teach you about this, Gary. This is the outfit that you lay out on the bed 3 days before you wear it, and you look at it and be like, "I'm gonna kill him with that right there."
Hey, when I walk by my suit.
One thing with me, I was basically in my closet last night and was like, "What am I gonna put together?"
So you gonna lay it out on that chair in your bedroom,
and I sit there. I had like 2 or 3 options, and I was like, you know what? Because eventually you start putting things together and be like, oh, Lord, now you just messing with little things. I'm like, you know what? This is what I'm going with. I'm wearing this. Let's roll. I just put it together.
You know what, man? I need to come by the crib. My whole closet is nothing but hoodies and jogging pants and Air Maxes. That's like.
Well, see, you know what? This is the thing, whatever. So when I played, a lot of people would get a company to make them suits. My thing is that I would get a company. I had a company that would do my suits. And LFV was one of the companies that would do my suits. But I would sit with them to create my suits.
So you picking out the fabrics, the colors, the lining, everything. Nice.
Because my thing is that because you could have somebody throw you something together, whatever. That's the same thing with this, whatever. It's like you got the cigar, but you don't feel like you were a part of it.
But see, you also got that. Part of it. You got that suit build. You see, you slim. You're slim and trim.
Hey, man,
we got to do alterations when I buy my shit.
I still got to tighten it up here and there, man. You got to make sure it fits right.
And that's the key.
And then the difference from 10, 15 years ago suits to now, 2020, 2023 suits.
So
Whatever.
talk about that maturity. If you
Yeah.
think about everything you've done now to when you've gotten out the league to even 10 years ago
Yeah.
to 2 years ago, they said maturity, to me, my definition of maturity is something that mattered then doesn't make any sense or matter now. So you're going from business to family
Yeah.
to just even fashion decisions.
Yeah.
How much would you say you think? Do you ever just look back and be like, "Damn, I used to do that, or I used to think this way"?
With clothes, I think about just the look of things, whatever. How 10, 15 years ago, how your suits would flow and big and long, and now everything's more. And I actually, so the guy is like the what's the company? One of the suit companies, and I want to say it was Armani, but the right hand man of the guy came to the. I used to go to their store, and he came this day, and I seen him in a suit, and I was like, man. And this was the time where I went from that, long and more than 2 buttons, whatever type of look,
The prime time suit.
yeah. And it's like, and he was like, I'm gonna make you a suit, whatever, and it's gonna be. And when he made the suit, I was like, this is it. Like, that's the look, whatever. And it was definitely different than what I would normally do. And he was like, just roll with me with this. And I ended up getting this suit done. And from that point, I was like, you know what? Okay, tight, more fitting, like less of the movement with the suit and everything. So it definitely has changed, mindset wise, and just what the look is. It's definitely changed from 10 years ago, for sure.
I'm praying for baggy jeans and Timbs to come back, because some of these tight jeans I be having to wear, if it ain't got that
You
little
gotta-
bit of elastic give in it, it's a problem.
My thing is that I don't go all in one way on anything. You got to have a change up, whatever. So so you don't have just one look. And I'm always, and my wife would tell you, I always have different things where I'm looking, okay, let me try this. All right, I'm gonna grab this one piece, I'll put it with something, we'll see what we put it with. And I always sort of mix some things up, whatever. So even with the suit tomorrow, whatever, it's not one complete suit. It's
a mixture.
It's
a hybrid.
I grab this and put it together and see what works. See, I know Rodney whatever went and bought him a suit and whatever. He went out and got
Rodney went to a damn fashion show
See,
last week just to get prepared.
I know he went and had to go grab something. See, my thing is whatever. I know one of my close friends, she's like my little sister, whatever. She and she's dealt in clothing for years. She lives in Cali. And she's in the cigar business industry now. But she would come in my closet some days, whatever, and would turn my 30 or 40 suits into 60 to 80 suits.
There you go.
Because she would mix things up. Certain things, whatever, that at the time I was like, that don't look good. That don't look good together. This don't look good together. But she would put it together. I'm like, I can see how that works. I can see how this works. So it sort of opened me up to sort of seeing more things and how you could play with it and turn one suit into 4 different suits.
That's why the new industry is, you ever see those things where you get a box with different shoes, shirts, and all that? They do it based off of your style.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
if you
pair
get
it
3
up.
or 4
I do
boxes,
thread
you can
beast.
mix them.
Thread beast.
Yes,
Thread
that's
beast.
what I saw. Like,
yeah.
I was like, that's genius.
My nephew turned me on to that.
Man.
I'm
And
gonna have to
my
check
fear
that
about
out.
that, though,
Oh,
is
yeah.
that
Because-
certain things fit different.
Yeah,
That's
because
the only
it
fear.
gives you, it opens you up to where you would normally go and grab just this. Now it gives you all these different options, and it's like $60, whatever, but you get like 4 or 5 different options of different things. Now you're like, wow, okay, now how can I put this? And it's not one complete thing, whatever. So you'll get all these different things, and it gives you the opportunity to sort of play with things and see how this might work, So yeah, it that allows me to do a little bit more too, because now I get a couple different shirts. Now I can go this way, I can turn it and go the other way. So it changes up.
So when you do that, if you don't like it, you can send some of the items back and switch them?
It's because think about it, you're getting like a $200, $300, maybe $400 value for like $60. So mine, my brother gets it, or
that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like
That makes sense.
It's really no need to send it back when you're winning anyway.
And you can bless somebody else and pay it forward.
Exactly, definitely.
So my
All right,
point
I'm
in
about to
bringing
go
that
online
up,
now.
yeah, partially my point in bringing that up is too, I'm a t-shirt and jeans guy, but As you can see right now, I'm wearing typical my t-shirt.
Represent.
But I'm, yeah, that's what I was about to say. If you're going to one of Rodney's events or Ken's events, I'm telling you, don't be that guy because you're going to feel a little uncomfortable all night.
Listen,
I'm just
one
saying,
thing
'cause last time I showed up, it was a summertime event. I had a pair of shorts on and like a polo, and I hadn't felt that underdressed, and I don't know how long.
You look
I
like
just
you
come
look
from
like the
work.
help walking up in there. People
Most-
trying to
hey,
give you their empty glasses.
Most of the events that I have, a lot of my friends, they always, Ken, what you wearing? And I'm like, listen, one thing you got to understand, I never will feel like I'm overdressed because I'm comfortable with what I got on. So if I got a suit on, I'm comfortable. It doesn't matter if nobody else have a suit on. But I like to sort of change it up because this is the norm.
Yeah.
We can do this daily.
Yeah.
I like to change it up, whatever, and put people in the mindset of we can be stylish too, and we can sit there and show up and really show out and still have a good time.
Yeah.
Because I got a suit on don't mean I can't have a good time. I still can have a great time, whatever, and look good.
Yeah.
What Ken don't know, they ain't asking him what he wearing because they want to be in a dress. Because he trying to kill the game. You ain't just be sitting here.
Oh no! I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna kill it. And look. So I go to the
I
Pro
ain't getting
Cigar.
in this competition.
I go to the Pro Cigar Fest in DR every year. And so Michael Hurtlocks. I don't know if y'all know Michael. He been the blender or whatever for Nat Sherman for some years, and now he basically took Nat Sherman's international line and put it up under his new company. But Michael would always every year he'd be like, "Listen, Ken, we're cool, whatever, but just don't outdo me." Like, but he's a cat from New York that they can. It's cold up there, so they can put layers on. He can really
but
style
that
it
looks
up.
fly though.
It's beyond. And I'm like, listen, I live in Houston. You can't do a whole bunch of layers in Houston like that. So I would look at him like, man, you be killing it. But when we get to DR, he already know I'm coming with it. So every year now they're like, what'd you bring? Because they know I'm not half stepping. I'm coming with it. Every day we there, I'm gonna have something on. We gonna roll.
Your
with it.
next event, I still got 2 Easter suits from '87 that I haven't worn yet, so I'll be ready. You already know, Gary. That's another thing, man. Black culture. You used to wear your Easter outfit to church on Sunday,
yeah.
and then you would go to school on Monday, fresh to death, just for that one day. And then you put it up to next year and bet nobody see it again because you get talked about.
Won't see it again for a minute,
Got that
forever.
double usage out of it. Well, what's something you do? Because obviously you damn near still in playing shape. I mean, what do you do to maintain that? Because you still look like you could get out on the field today.
I can get on the field and jog with them.
Yeah.
That's about it. Whatever. No, I you know what? I still try to work out. Like I told Steven Jones this. I was in Oxnard a couple years ago for training camp, and Steven and Jerry, they come on, oh man, you look good, look like you can still play. I'm like, listen, it's all a facade. Like I just want to look good now. It ain't about nothing physical. It ain't about hitting nobody, nothing. But I mean, I still train because I still have. It's a lot of guys that go. It's almost you go one way or the other. You get done playing, and there's so many guys that are like, I don't want to see a weight room. I don't want to touch nothing. And then there's other guys. It's been a part of my life since I was 6, 7 years old.
Yeah.
I can remember being in Pee Wee ball and trying to lose weight and work out, whatever, to be on a certain weight class, whatever team, because they were better than the one that I had to be in. So, I mean, I've been a part of that for 30 plus years. So it's like, it's just me. I travel sometimes and I'm not able to get to a gym for a week and I get back home and I'm like, I got to get back on it. Like this is, I feel certain type of way.
What does the gym look like for you now? Like what kind of stuff are you doing
So
now
I have
to
a
maintain?
tonal, the tonal machine at the house.
Okay.
So when COVID hit, actually right when it hit, I ordered that tonal machine and Peloton. And so and I'm a guy I was always free weights. Like that was my thing. I had a full gym in the garage. And when I got on the tonal, about 3 months into working on that, I had my boy come and grab all of my free weights. Like you can have them. Because the tonal worked for me. So I'm on that just about 4 or 5. I do different programs on it because you can do 2, 3, 4, 5 day programs. But I'm probably working out 3 to 5 days a week, and still, it's just not on the level of weight as far as like trying to. I'm not trying to hit no maxes or anything like
Yeah.
that. I'm just working out to make sure I challenge myself and keep my body right.
What do you do when you do try to work out when you're traveling? Like, what are some things you've learned that you've been able to incorporate when you do travel?
Oh, well, I still have a jailhouse workout that I can still do without any weights. You know, push-ups. You can do push-ups. You can do squats. You can sit there. I mean, you can do dips. It's stuff you can do, whatever. When you don't have any weights, you can still get active. And then, I mean, of course, you have certain like little hotels that have their miniature gyms that you can go in there and get a little extra workout in. But and then the good part of my tonal is that it has an app where I can do the on-the-go app and really still get a workout in and really challenge myself. So that's always with me, so I can tap on that and get a 20, 30, 40-minute workout in just in my room.
You still keep your diet pretty strict, or you?
Yeah,
off
I never
and on with that?
really had a diet. So in college, I actually used to every day before practice, I would go to the Union. I would go to Burger King. I would get a double Whopper with cheese and bacon, a strawberry shake, and I would come to the training room and I would eat that every day before practice. And not to mention, I mean, so one thing that's different from, you know, early on to now is that, so I used to drink back then and I don't drink now. So it's been like 10 years since I had a drink. So that sort of has helped me. Like, I feel like it's been a great thing for me or whatever, because now I don't have to worry about whatever that might add to whatever was going on.
Yeah.
So that plus, I mean, I still grab a burger here and there. I still grab some wings or whatever case. I don't watch my intake like that. I'm enjoying.
So you've
what I
never
eat.
been a person that's had to really worry about like putting on weight or taking it off.
Oh no. I've always been right at that 205 to 210 range, and I've stayed there. Now it's more, my doctor's like, well, you're like 195. This is great. You could lose a couple more pounds. I'm like, lose? I mean, how skinny you want me to look? But I mean, I feel good. And I don't have a goal on weight. It's about just keeping my workouts going and feeling a certain way and making sure. I understand that I put my body through a whole bunch in the years that I played football. So now it's on keeping myself fit, and to where maybe if I didn't work out, some of those ailments I would feel a lot sooner than I probably will feel now, because I'm still active and keeping myself going.
Did you have any other major injuries besides the head stuff that you've really had to work around?
I've had plenty of injuries.
I mean, like serious ones. Yeah.
The only, I guess, surgery that I
don't
had,
remember any big
I had a
ones.
torn labrum after my second year, and didn't miss any time for it. But I got off-season surgery with that. But I mean, of course, I mean, all of my fingers have been jammed or something has happened. Broken this hand twice. MCLs, turf toe, ankles, back, neck. I mean, everything is sort of. So I got the bed to make sure that it was right for me. I got
your sleep number dialed in.
Yes, indeed. So I mean, different things you got to do now to make sure. But when I travel, I mean, depends on what bed I'm in. I was in Maldives one time, and the bed was so soft that I almost couldn't get out the bed. My back was so tight and everything, so they had to come and flip the bed, and I'm like, listen, change it. I'll sleep on the floor. But so it's just different things you deal with that, but got to deal with it.
Right on. What was I going to ask you?
What the hell is a labrum?
Oh,
labrum
labrum in your shoulder. You got one, I believe, in a couple areas, but it was in my shoulder.
Okay, I just had to ask. I was sitting over here. I was trying to Google it. I was like, "Damn, it's a labrum." I didn't know. Okay.
I didn't even really know that I tore it until. So I know that I hurt my shoulder during the season, but I played it out. Exit physical was great and everything. I passed everything. Got home, and in the off season I played basketball. And I was going up for these rebounds, and every time I put my hands up for a rebound, I had a sharp pain in my shoulder. I was like, that can't be right. And ended up having off-season surgery, and I mean, they did they stitched it up and everything, so it was cool. But the rehab is worse than anything.
My mom had shoulder surgery, and she said she'd rather give birth again than do rehab on the shoulder again.
Terrible. I mean, I was stuck like this, not even be able to get full range for the longest amount of time. I mean, I'm like, listen, when is this going to change?
Yeah.
So, the rehab is terrible.
Can't pick off a ball when you can only raise your arm.
No, you cannot. So, the rehab that's the one thing about people don't understand. Like, I'd rather be practicing and going through the hall of that than to be on the side having a rehab.
I was going to ask, you said that was year 2, because I was going to say, wasn't it like year 3, you had that hit that was talked about forever. I forget who that was, that you absolutely laid out.
Dante Stallworth?
Yes.
That was actually year 1, game 1.
Was it year 1, game 1?
Game 1. First game, played against New Orleans. Aaron Brooks threw the ball across the middle. It was almost like a skinny route. And, it was almost like a helicopter. Yeah. And he actually, so Dante, that's my guy right there. But after that night, because we played in Seattle, so they got back home. We were out, and he called and was like, "Ken, they got me on SportsCenter, doc. Like that's not cool." I said, "Listen, you got to blame your quarterback. Like he the one that threw it." Yeah, but that was back when you could hit and listen. No flags were coming out during that time. It wasn't anything happening during that time.
Though somebody's whip was getting broken into.
Man,
We
listen.
all started checking pockets. Hold on.
I was over here. Yeah, man, I still remember seeing that. Like that hit, and there's one other hit from not far after that still sticks with me. Did you end up seeing or remember when Lito Shepherd hit Reggie Bush and he bear crawled across the field in that playoff game?
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. I think that was the last time somebody really got hit before they changed the rules.
Well, you think about Sean Taylor in the Pro Bowl.
Oh,
when he hit the punter.
He was such a beast.
That was a mean one.
Yeah. What's some of your memorable experiences from the Pro Bowl, since we just mentioned the Pro Bowl?
Oh, man. I mean, you know what?
So I know that was a comeback year for you.
Yeah. To me, my family, bringing my family down there, the entire experience was great. Of course, you got the best of the bests, from all the guys out there, and we had 13 on the team that went. So, I mean, that was a great experience. We won the game, which was another positive. I can remember, so that year, crazy, we had, of course, you got 3 safeties that go.
Yep.
Me, Roy, and then another guy. I won't even mention this guy because this guy is basically incarcerated right now, whatever. But 3 guys went. The night before the game, Roy, like a stomach bug, and he doesn't even know if he's going to play. And now I'm looking at it like, wait a minute. First off, we've been drinking all week. And so me and the other guy might have to play the entire game. I'm like, this is not what I signed up for. Hold on. But while we were on the bus, me and Roy were talking. It was like, well, if you don't play, like, you don't get paid. He was like, well, I might be able to muster up a couple of plays. So I'm like, you might want to get out there or whatever. Like, and yeah, so he ended up playing a little bit, whatever. But like, I was just like, man, you gotta play. Like, we can't just be out here 2 guys 4 quarters. That ain't gonna work. I mean, of course we do it in the regular season. We do it, but this is like this is for fun. This is a little bit more enjoyable than that. So that was one thing. I mean, Adrian Peterson, that was the year he made it, and he was destined to win the MVP. He had it on his mind the entire week that he was coming out to get the MVP. He wanted it bad, and he played it that way.
Yeah.
Like those type of things are cool to sort of see, and just the guys all the guys that made it on our team. It was, we had 3 of our 4 starting secondary that was there.
Yeah.
Me, Roy, and Tinu, we all made it. So that was cool to sort of see. Like, we all got, we represented well throughout the season, and the guys, our peers, voted us in for what we did during the season. So that was pretty cool.
What do you think Cowboys need to do with their secondary right now? What do you think about the secondary this year?
Oof.
Because I think we've made a lot of improvements, but I know like losing Jordan Lewis, that really hurt. But we had a lot of guys step up this year too.
A lot of guys stepped up. I think that if once you look past the front 7, it's a lot of patchwork that you see on the back end. It's not we haven't really brought in a guy at the safety position that is like, he's the anchor.
Yeah.
And he's going to run things. And people don't understand that it's not just that his play of running things, but communication is huge in that safety position.
Yeah.
Being able to get guys lined up, being able to understand situations, and, you know, for me to tell this corner, hey, you don't have no help this play, and him understanding that and playing a certain way, and me leaning this way and doing that, and then switching from the next play that, you know what, all right, you got to play the inside or the outside, or just the communication before plays that really makes a difference, to where now I can play free and that guy can play free too, because he understands where I'm going to be. I'm going to be here and he can trust it.
Yeah.
And because we've done it so many times, he understands that he can trust me and play free and not to be thinking so much. And a lot of times I think you see it, even in the game this past week, you see guys are unsure.
Yeah.
And then you see a guy wide open because the communication wasn't there. You see a guy, whatever, playing so far off, and he lets the guy catch it and he turns up and makes some more yards because you're not sure. It shouldn't be any play like that.
Yeah.
But to see it so many different times, on the back end, it's huge on communication. Of course, the skill level has to be there, and I think all of the guys, you're in the game.
Skills.
You got the skill set. It's the communication and understanding where you are, where your leverage needs to be, and all these things would ever play a big role. And to have a guy like that on the back end, I don't know who that guy is for them right now.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
Yeah.
That you don't know who that vocal guy is, who's the guy that's going to get everybody lined up and make sure that they understand what's going on in this play, not worrying about the next play, what's going on in this play. Then we can get to the next play.
Well, I've been practicing my field goal kicking because I think there may be a spot open next season.
There's no maybe.
It can't be.
There's no maybe.
They
that job
showed
is
that
open.
first field goal that got blocked.
Oh no, it was
already on its
far
way.
Left. It was far left.
I was like,
unless he got a magical hook in that kick, that kick was going far left.
No, somebody that was getting peanuts and popcorn was getting ready to get that football.
The best thing that could have happened was it was blocked.
Bruh.
Because in his mind, he was like, it was going in, it was blocked. So that made those two field goals that he kicked a little bit more doable.
Normally,
Other than that,
the kicker gets like a pat on the helmet, but even when he made them, nobody said nothing to him. He's like, hey, I did it. They was like...
And listen, I don't deal with kickers. Like listen, during the week, they have the leisure of, they're at Starbucks, they're at Subway, they're gone. Their meetings are probably 10 to 15 minutes, and they are out the door. We're in meetings for hours. And they are just roaming around.
You got one job.
Got Starbucks, they over here sipping, walking around. That's why I tell them, listen, them and fullbacks, I always said, and Moran Norris is one of my guys back in Houston, but I always tell fullbacks, whatever, that, like, so I had a fullback that used to be in my locker next to me, and I would always tell him, you don't do interviews. Like, you're a fullback. Like, who's talking to you? No, you don't need to do it. So he was a younger guy too, so he would always ask me, like, can I do the interview? I'm like, to talk about what?
I'm in the red zone.
You are a fullback. All you're doing is blocking. No, he can't do no foot. But it's the same thing with kickers. Like, you got one job. You should be a master at that job.
Man.
And nowadays, even with punters, we don't do directional kicks anymore in the league. Like, that, it's not a big thing anymore. Now you just kick it. Just kick it deep, and that's it.
As far as you can.
Because back in my day, whatever, we had guys that could kick it in that corner and hit that number right there on the side, and you knew he can hit it there. Now that's not even a skill set anymore. So now you should be able to just be great at it.
Reminds me of the NBA, because NBA to me is the most boringest sport next to golf, because all they do is shoot 3-pointers.
Oh, everything is about the 3-point now. Yeah,
that's it. They're about to make it 4-pointers because nobody goes in the paint. Nothing.
It should be.
Do you think that that's one of the biggest things the Cowboys are missing? And I want to ask this in kind of almost like a two-part question here, because I know you heard some of our other friends that played for the Steelers. We had a whole big discussion about this, about how the Cowboys don't have a standard. And they'll talk about how, it's one of the things Mike Tomlin puts out there, and is the standard is the standard, and that, everybody's held to these standards. Do you think the Cowboys missing something like having a standard like that? Or do you think it's more that in key positions, like we talked about the safety, are they just really lacking a couple of those key players in those positions that really is like the coach on the field that really keeps all these guys together and keeps them more communicating better and sets that standard of communication?
Well, I think if you look on the defensive side, who is their leader?
Yeah.
And not just by play. I mean, 'cause I understand Michael Parsons, he's a beast, and he does it playing the game.
Yeah.
But who is the guy that sort of gets everybody together? who is the guy that, and normally they elect, the middle linebacker is that guy or whatever, but who is that guy on this team? I don't think you can really identify who that guy is. Normally, the D-line, they do their job. They do their thing. And you have a guy that is the communicator, linebacker, safety, that is the guy that's going to keep everyone together and on the same page and keep things going. You just can't identify that guy really, to me, right now.
Yeah.
And it's not about age either. When I came into Seattle, we were a team that was just getting identified and sort of knowing that we wanted to go a different direction, that we wanted to start winning. We had a whole bunch of new pieces. Me and Marcus Trufant were those new pieces that were coming in. And we didn't, of course we were still rookies, but it wasn't, I still, in my position, I still had to be vocal. I still had to make sure to communicate and know. And the thing about it is, playing in Seattle, just like playing in Dallas, you're on defense, the guys can't hear me from here to here. So it's not about just talking to them. It's about signals. It's about doing it, making sure that however you got to get it across, they understand what's going on, because you don't want guys just running out there and then now they're running out there late and now they're just like, now I just got to play this guy, not even thinking about anything that we went over during the week, not picking up, and are these guys picking up on what's actually happening, to where we had Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles is our DB coach. Todd Bowles, by the second quarter, if you didn't pick up on certain tendencies, he was cussing you out because we went over it.
Yeah.
You should know. That's why that year we had 13 guys go to Pro Bowl, because at safety, Bowles would tell me, look, if you see this guy drag and you know that this is coming, whatever, especially on third down, go take it. It wasn't about just sit back, play safety, and be deep. Go make a play. And I could do that because I told that corner, you ain't got no help. I can go rob this, whatever, and he not feel like he's frantic, whatever, because I left him, whatever, but he already knows what's going on. So it's certain things, whatever, that you got to be able to communicate and understand before the play that some guys aren't picking up on, because that's why you see these guys wide open, and you can't do that when you're playing up against San Francisco.
Yeah.
They got too many playmakers that can take a 5-yard route and take it to the house. So you got to play them tighter than you would normally play anybody else, because they want to take a hitch and get the yak afterwards. Yeah. Deebo Samuels is a guy that can do that. McCaffrey catches something, whatever, out the backfield. He can do that. Ayuk can do that. Kittles can do that. You got too many weapons to where you got to play sound. You can't just worry about, and then, you got Parsons is going up against one of the best in the game with Trent Williams. He already has his own battle going on. You got to win somewhere else, because you know that he is going to be taken up one-on-one with that. That guy is a beast.
Yeah.
So he has to possibly win here and there. But you got another guy on the other end, whatever, Lawrence, he has to win. The guys on the inside have to win. The linebackers have to be able to play and open up some gaps, whatever, to where they get pressure and leave him where he got some space. Parsons can make a win on the end. It's so many things that have to happen, whatever, but communication is the biggest part of it on the back end, because it's so many things that go on in the play.
Yeah. I'm about to go get a whiteboard so you can put some X's and some O's, start drawing some lines.
I'll bet you when he does his stuff at Arkansas, it's like everybody feels like Tony Romo's up there breaking down the damn game.
It is a lot. I don't think people understand how much of the classroom comes in, especially at all positions, but especially on the back end, whatever. So we played in Seattle, we had to play against the Rams twice a year. Now, Mike Martz was a guy that he was their OC that he never, in their offense, they never lined up in the same spot twice. So you never got the same set twice in a game. Now, they ran the same plays, but it was always from different sets. So you had to eventually, on the run, pick up what it was so that you can actually defend it. If not, all you're going to be doing is hitting the guy after he catches it. So you got to be here in the classroom more than that, just thinking your physical attributes are going to get you through a game and actually win the game.
So how hard is that to, week after week, watch tape on the team you're about to play? Like with the example you said with the Rams, if you know they're never going to be in the same formation every time and you're trying to study it, like you have to forget who you played last week, focus on this week, and from week to week, to try to remember.
You got to watch the week before out, and then understand that, okay, every team has a tendency. Mm-hmm. Now you got to look at, okay, this isn't familiar, but once he motions down, now he's in this set. Okay, what do they do from that? And then understanding that from that, it's different routes. There's certain route combinations that you can get from certain. Now, they would change things up, whatever. But for the most part, you get certain tendencies, whatever, that, okay, this set is going to get you this combination, whatever it is. Now, from there, you could get one off here and there, whatever, and you just got to play. But you can play those tighter because you know I'm either getting this or this. You know down and distance what they do, and we always break it down from the short, mid to long distance, so on third down especially, of what you could get. Then you look at that and you start breaking down, okay, this is what this guy does, this is what this guy does. Now, corners, they have to look at, okay, and safeties as well, okay, he's 2 yards outside the numbers, 1 yard inside the numbers. All these different things, whatever, that you got to look at. That's why the classroom part of it is way bigger than just thinking that you're going to go out and we just going to play ball.
Man, I'm glad I got your phone number because I'm tired of my 9-year-old's been whooping my ass in Madden for the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be like, hold on, before we start the game, I got to make a phone call.
Yes, sir.
Ken, you seeing this? I'm just going to put you on FaceTime in the corner and just have my earbud in because he's been killing me.
Classroom part, I mean, I think these guys, and of course, hopefully they graduate into a better understanding next year and understanding what's going on and actually communicating a lot better so that everybody can play on the court. Everybody, the year that we had when we had 13 go, I mean, that was a fun year because it was just like let's make plays. Like, all right, what you gonna do this week? I'm going to grab this one, that. And we had games where, I mean, we were robbing all type of stuff, and there were certain games where, Bowles got on our ass because if we weren't picking up from second quarter, it's like, look, we talked about this. When this guy does this, this is what's going to happen. This is going to happen. So you got to eventually make adjustments, but you should go into that week confident that that you can start playing these guys tighter because you know what their bread and butters are. And they're going to get back to it.
Yeah, that's like why you said our guys look lost all the time because it's like they're always off 10 yards.
Yeah, that game, it was certain plays where, not to call out one guy or the other, but it just was guys were just not tuned in, or they got so far out of their element on playing sound defense that guys got in their blind spot and they were just lost. And now guys are, when they're in the blind spot, it doesn't matter if a guy can run a 4.2 or 4.7. Guy getting your blind spot, whatever, you taking off running because you think he on the go route and he already done turned around and you're still running. And you saw that a couple of times in the game. You got to play sound defense. Your footwork has to be right. Your leverage has to be right so that you don't have those type of things happening.
So you don't think my buddy that ran that 4.3 could have been able to pick that up out there?
Well, I mean,
so I had to put that out. I hope he's listening. Just 'cause I wanted to bust him out on that a little bit.
It was some plays. I mean, and then you got to be lucky on certain plays too. I mean, Diggs had a ball to hit his hands, but of course he's playing defense. But you got to be lucky on those type of plays too, where you can take that and opportunity and make that interception and go the other way.
So how do you like the broadcasting aspect? Is that something you plan to continue with or continue to?
It's fun. I mean, I plan on having a sit down soon with back at Arkansas to see about possibly doing more than just that. But I like the game. I like the concept of the game. I like talking about the game. I like looking at, what fits for, our team and that type of stuff. So, I mean, the possibility of doing more is definitely in the near future.
Okay, that's cool. Well, we're getting to that time where we start asking you a couple of our key questions that we do on here for every show. First one I want to start off with you on is if you had one piece of advice that you could leave your son, what would that piece of advice be?
One piece of advice. I think that, and I talk with my friends about this all the time of how green and how just spoiled, our kids are. And I look at, of course, every parent wants to do better for their kid than they had. And you know, when you stack that on so many times, I mean, it makes your kid not have to go through what you had to go through as a kid. And I mean, that's a great thing. But it also softens them up a little bit more on dealing with certain things in life. I mean, I think about my kids, they literally play in a gated house. Like all of our houses in our neighborhood are gated.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can recall whatever. I was 15, 20 miles away, whatever, when I was a kid, whatever, knowing I'm way away from home and just having to deal with certain things. So they don't have to deal with a lot. But at the same time, adversity might hit them at a certain time to where he has to learn how to deal with it a different way. My biggest thing for them is just not giving up, not quitting, not giving up, and really sticking through, when it does hit, being able to find a way to stick through it, fight through it, and actually use that adversity, whatever, as a positive to really fight through certain things that might happen with them.
Right on. What would you say if we said every person that comes on here, you get to give your 2 cents? Now, this could be your 2 cents about anything you want to talk about. It could be something you were inspired to say about the show, you personally, cigars, football, whatever. It's just your opportunity to give your 2 cents on something that you're passionate about.
My 2 cents. Here's my 2 cents. The Arrival will be one of the biggest cigars in the industry. My 2 cents on that is because of the passion that I'm going to put into it, the guidance that I have, to actually learn and continuously learn, using that football knowledge of really using a team to accomplish goals, and also using the sounding board of others who are enjoying that cigar, who are trying a cigar to basically go into the classroom and learn how to get better. So that's quickly my 2 cents.
Okay. What other things do you want to see the Arrival do? Because I meant to ask you this earlier. You said you want to see it become more. You want it to be beyond cigars. What are some of the things you're looking to see the Arrival do?
Oh, the Arrival. I mean, I look at, like I said, when I said earlier, as far as like a movement, the Arrival, the concept of it is you individually and just as a whole arriving in that moment, in that positive moment, in that space. So I look at the possibility of Arrival being an actual lounge, the Arrival being, a space that you can actually go to and still enjoy that same concept, and that you have arrived. Not just you arrived in this moment and enjoying a cigar, but you have arrived in this moment of enjoying this space. So that's sort of one of the things that the future should hold for the Arrival.
Right on. Well, there's another little shout out I want to give somebody here. You were just checking it out. You reminded me of it. So I had a good friend from high school that dropped these off just out of the kindness of his own heart. He has a company called Nut House Custom Coatings. Okay. They do like what do you call it? The coatings that you see on like the guns. Like they do powder coating. There's another name for it. He's also doing laser etching, but as you can see, he took my logo just online.
That's dope.
And like made me some coasters, man. He said, I saw you guys had coasters out there, but you didn't have your own, so I wanted to make sure you got those. So
wow.
Shane, quick shout out and huge thank you for that.
Shane, there's a few things that I don't have that if you want to just put the logo on some things, just let me know. We'll work it out.
And for the record, his website's easy to get pictures and stuff off of. I had to learn that the hard way, so somebody didn't send me any.
Yes, sir.
Well, Ken, I want to thank you, my friend, for coming out here and doing the show with us.
Sir.
I hope you guys in the Bourbon Connection have a great event tomorrow. I will be there for a little bit. Thanks, man. Really appreciate it, and I wish you much success with the Arrival as you continue to grow this. I think it's a phenomenal cigar. It's one I enjoy to throw into my mixture. Like I said, it's my coffee cigar. So
yes, sir.
I'm looking forward to seeing what else you put out there, my man.
Definitely, man. I appreciate it. Definitely putting it in the air to definitely grow and actually bring more for you and others to enjoy. So it's a fun concept, a fun experience for me. So I'm hoping that everybody can definitely get out and enjoy and just try something different. Try something new.
You just do some new swag, man.
We got to get some more. We got to get some more swag going. That's the next thing we're working on is putting together a luxury line of Arrival apparel and different things. So, yeah, we're working on it.
Right on, because I know you're gonna come out with some real GQ stuff.
It's got to be nice, man. It's got to fit.
Yeah.
It's got to fit the mold, definitely.
Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate it, and I hope you all enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next time. Next week, we'll be live. I'm going to do a little live remote like we did earlier last year because I'm going to be on vacation. I'm finally going to go see my little brother. So who knows what that's going to turn into. It should be interesting. Me and my little brother getting out in Hawaii, and I'm going to just throw one out there.
Whatever. I'm going to be sitting here in 43-degree weather. Just
you're not going to be.
It's not going to be 40.
This isn't going to be in Aruba this week.
60, but
Okay. Yeah.
Hawaii.
Hopefully it'd be about 80. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Should be. Well, thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed the show.